Well, we're live again. I was going to work on the wheel pents, but I've since found that I need to have the wheels before I get off into that because of the way that the wire wraps back and forth. So I'm going to need some fuel tanks. So I decided we might as well get ready to make these tanks. And the molds are just trashed. So let me get this set up here. Live chat replay. Okay, good. So that's good. And let's go into here and turn that on. All right. Okay, so there we are. Daniel Berry Sports Highlight says, "Yo, whoa, whoa." Okay, for the I probably should write this down so I know exactly what it is. I'm looking for the draft angle of this thing. And which end is which. All righty, thank you, Gary. All right, let's see what the difference is in widths and things. The actual width of this tank is it's actually 1 and 980 thousandths. Not 1 and 985 thousandths on one hand. One and 985 on one end. Let's look at the other end. On the other end, it is 2 inches. No, it was 195 thousandths. So it's got a 10 thousandths draft angle in that. Wait a minute. That's 2 inches. 1 and 990 thousandths. It's hard to tell. 1 and 9. This is really not the right thing to be measuring it with dial calipers, but I'm not going out in the garage to get my chronometers. 1 and 992. $1.992. So we'll measure the other side again. And you ask, why does this matter? Well, you got to be able to get this stupid thing out of the mold. Yep, 1 and 985. So 985 is less than. So I got the beater on the wrong end. It's beat on this end. One and 985. Except I can't read it. 992. 9, 8, 5. Let's check the thicknesses. So this end should be thinner in thickness than the other end. It's 975 thousandths. $975,000 on that, on the small end. So this end should be 1 inch anyway. One and not 800 and no, it's 1 and 990 thousandths, or no, that ain't right. 990 thousandths. 5 thousandths difference. Nine, 0. So it gets pounded out. I got to think about this. If this is the big end here, 992 is the big end. It's got to go that way. Yeah, so it's got to be pounded on this end right here to go that way. So this is the pound end here. Okay. So this thing's got all kind of pits in it. But this is a 4-piece mold. There's some more people texting me while I'm online. So I need to figure out which side goes where. I have to get my long feeler gauges, I guess. I don't even know where the phone is. There it is. And they're talking about flying tomorrow. I'm gonna fly tomorrow. Okay. Let's see how much difference there is. Talk to John. He's gonna make some bungs. We're gonna make these clunk tanks. Now, this tank mold is set up. So if you want to make a 4-ounce tank, you cut it 4 inches long. You want to make an 8-ounce tank, you cut it 8 inches long. Now, does it matter which side goes where? Yes, it does. It goes the other way. Yep. Yeah, I knew them motorcycle tools would come in handy up here eventually. Let's see. Let's give it the big blade first. This is, where the hell is this is 40 thousandths here. So it's less than 40. Let's go 30. You see, why does this matter? Because that tells you how much carbon you can, or fiberglass you can put in there. 30. Let's see, this is 25. Yeah, I was right. It's 30. That's 35, 43, 20, 27. Here's 30 right here. A little more than 30. So that means there's 15,000. So those tank walls will be 15 thousandths thick. About. Now, when the guy Wendy had these, he didn't take very good care of them. They are ridiculously crapped up. Of course, I don't think it much matters on the outside. But here's the, we got to clean these up. These are the end caps, 2-piece molds. I need to call Wendy and see what thicknesses he used. I'm gonna start polishing these molds out right now. Big old scores and shit in them. I was just told tonight that the backer for Monaco is Mylar, so we're going to wrap that with Mylar before I put it in here. I think this project here is probably more important than the wheel pants anyway, but I got the wheels coming tomorrow. I ordered some wire. The shipping costs just as much as the wire. It's unbelievable. I need to send these to John and have him mill out this inside to get that groove out of there. I don't think it'll hurt because it's 3-piece mold and it should come apart. A 4-piece mold. But I got the HDR 250, so might as well use that. I'll have to go to Harbor Freight and buy some welding blankets. That's the cheapest way I'm going to get by with getting fiberglass. Welding blanket from Harbor Freight, $40. Wonder if I got them pins for there. Looks like 3/8. I'll drill them out. I'll take them on the drill press out. Kevin. Yes, I've been using them. That's what I flew on, what I'll fly on again tomorrow. Spectras. Now, you want my honest opinion? They're all right. I'm not sure that there's a big advantage. At least I haven't run across that yet. But the only thing you can think of is you can just wind them up and throw them in a toolbox and it don't matter. Can't believe there's no markings on this thing to show you. I'm gonna get some stamps and mark this so you know how to put it together. Of course, we'll wax this up and PVA it and all that shit. Need to polish this with some polish. Yes, I'm using it with my Viper 60s. Let's use that one. It's getting nasty, so we can use this one. I guess I could take the sander to the outside of that and use 80 grit on it. Get them cleaned up. John, he got a buffer. Keith, you were asking John about tanks the other day. There we go. That cleaned that up nice. See, everything's about sanding and polishing. That spot's there. Okay, that's one side. That should do it. Not a mirror, but it's close. We're going to put PVA on it anyway with wax. I also want to see if my sander will take that off there. I don't know how the heck you got it so full of crap. Let's get the sander and see what it does. We'll sand it up. This one got any juice in it? No. No. But no, this one does. Yeah, she's full up. I need to get these back out the garage and get them on a charger. Yeah. I use Casminato, or I'm going to make tanks now. Good as new here, shortly. I had these molds about 3 years. So now with everybody dying off or not making anything, hey, I'm going to open this up for the next half hour. If you have a camera and would like to come in and talk to me, camera and a microphone, click on this link. Become part of the program. You don't have to download nothing or anything like that. Click on the link and it'll open up in your browser and Activate your camera and microphone and talk to me. It's one side. 5 more to go. You know, something that cost this much to make, I don't know why they wouldn't take care of it. Okie dokie. There we go, Keith Bryant. Let me bring him in. Welcome, Keith. What's going on?
Well, making metal tanks.
Are you?
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah, you good solderer?
I get by. I'm not going to say I'm great, but I'm going to make a Uniflow tank is what I'm going to make. So
Don't try to solder it with a soldering iron. Get a soldering gun. Get a soldering iron, about 140 watts. Something
yeah,
like
I know. I've got. That's what Joe Reinhardt keeps telling me too. Get a good soldering iron.
one of those things that looks like your grandpa used to use on a stove. You know, got a great big end on it.
Yeah.
Because a soldering gun won't get that metal hot enough.
So you're making carbon fiber tanks there?
Well, that's what this mold is for. It's for carbon fiber, but I have come to the belief that you don't need carbon fiber. We'll just do it in fiberglass.
It doesn't deteriorate?
No, the resin is what makes it. What I'm going to use for fiberglass is Harbor Freight welding blanket.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that. So
it also is good for bulletproof vests. I'm not kidding you. It'll stop 308 223. If you take that big mat, it's a 4x8 sheet, and you cut it up into the size of a plate, and get all the pieces out of it that you can, for a plate carrier, and then use polyester resin and put it all together. It'll stop whatever.
Okay.
So if it'll stop a bullet, it'll certainly hold some fuel.
Hold some fuel, huh?
Yeah. So I got some 3/4 ounce glass cloth. I will put on the inside and the outside to make them smooth, and then layer that up with the Harbor Freight welding blanket.
Okay.
I got that HTR 250 resin, and that's what they make landing gears and pipes out of. Bell cranks.
Is that what Dan was using?
Yes.
Okay. I need to get one of Dan's control horns is what I need to do.
$50.
Is that what he's charging now? If he's even, I know he was kind of hesitant about going back into production.
Yeah, he don't make them, but
yeah,
him and I were just talking the other night. They're gonna have to be $50.
Yeah, I know. Well, the quality of his stuff is first class, so.
Oh yeah.
It'd probably be worth the $50 to have a horn for that. Because I don't know where else you get that stuff anymore, Sparky. Tom Morris stuff, I don't know where you get that at.
Oaky Air, but
I've heard good and bad about that.
Yeah, I don't know how how often he's shipping anymore, but Oaky Air. Dan's stuff is really good. It's really high quality, but him and I were talking about it, for these bell cranks and horns and stuff. The day of the $15 bell crank is gone.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And those horn blanks, just those blanks to have laser cut are expensive out of 4130 chromoly. And you got to have you got to spend $2,000 up front just to get set up. I just ordered some 1/8 and some 3/32 drill rod from McMaster Carr, 4 pieces, $28.
Yeah, it's crazy anymore. Everything's expensive.
So that's 12 foot. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. 2 3-foot pieces is 6. That's 12 foot for $28. So that's over $2 a foot.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I was asking about those lines, because, just for a set of lines anymore, it's pretty pricey. But I was listening to Denny's stuff that he's been talking about using some of that fishing line stuff, and nobody around here uses them. I think Joe's got a set that he got from Jim Hoffman, and he's going to use them this spring, but it's on a smaller model. It's not a 60 size model, which is why I was asking.
Well, I used them the other day, and I'll use them again tomorrow. I mean, I wouldn't worry about them breaking, but I do suggest that you learn how to tie that knot, because it is a goofy looking knot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that the knot is critical.
And that, that's just something I'm thinking about it the whole day. Is this thing going to let loose? Am I going to lose the airplane?
Right. But I suppose that's the chance we take on everything that we tie and everything we do. So even with you're still tying the Tom Morris lines or the solids I used to use, same thing.
Didn't I used to fly with you in the 90s?
Yeah, I was over at Fort Benjamin Harrison.
Right.
And I had, that's when I first really started getting back in the control line. Joe was still flying, and and then of course the Sunderlands started getting involved right around that time. So about 90, I'm going to say 91 or so, but we were over at Fort Benjamin Harrison. Right. And that's when, of course, Steve Starr had just started too. And
you used to go down to New Albany?
Yeah. yeah, we went down there a couple times. Joe and those guys, Sunderland's, went down there a few more times than I did. But you used to go to New Albany. You used to go to Muncie when it was downtown Muncie.
Right.
And then Fort Benjamin Harrison. Went over there.
Yes.
And of course, when Jack was around, obviously he invited us back to his house. And so Jack was kind of my control line stunt hero back in the day, obviously. So
he was mine too.
Yeah. So, and Jack was good enough to let me kind of go through his pile of plans and pick something out and bring it home. So I just need to get motivated and get it built. So
somewhere around here, I have a picture of Jack, a signed picture by Jack Sheeks. It's one of my prized possessions. I don't know where the hell it went, in a frame. He went to the Worlds with his twin Cherokee scale frame.
Yeah.
That thing's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Because did he not? I thought he flew that over at the Wilmington Nats, like back in '81 or something like that, or '82.
I don't know. You can hardly keep up with Jack. He was more prolific than I.
Yeah, he was a character, I tell you.
I think he built one airplane a week.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was impressive. He kind of got that whole I-beam thing going.
Yeah. Are you going to go to Rodax this year?
I don't know. John had said something to me about it, and I had thought about doing that. It just depends on what spring looks like here. So we don't have many places to fly around here. So it's hard to get any kind of flights in before anything. And Lord knows I need plenty of practice.
Since I left Dayton, you can go over and fly with John.
I know. I talked to John a couple of weeks about doing that, going down there and meeting up with him down there and spending a day with him just flying. So I was down there about 2 weeks ago, just going to the hobby shops that they have there.
You didn't go to Radical RC, right? It's closed.
Yeah. Well, no, I went to, well, it's not Radical now, but the guys that bought out Radical, I guess, is what John told me.
Right down the street.
Yeah, from the museum.
Right.
So I went there, and of course, I mean, that was okay, but, it's just, hobby shops are hard to come by anymore.
It wasn't like Radical RC. That was a real hobby shop. I mean,
yeah.
Have you ever been there?
I'd never gone there. So, but I had heard about it, but I just had never gone there. And of course, I think Carl Levins had one years ago down in Cincinnati area.
Yeah.
But then again, I never really had to go there, but it's a couple hours away from me from here.
Lufkin Airport is where I met Kaz Minato.
Oh, really? Yeah, when Kaz was back here in the day?
35 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of when I started flying. Kaz was here working at Honda, and he was flying with Joe down on, up in Columbus there, around Huntley Road area, in a parking lot. And that's where I kind of got going with it. So I did my first contest up in Cleveland. Really.
Right.
So
are you going to go to the Cleveland contest this year?
I'd like to. That's why I was talking to John about that, because it's kind of hard pickings anymore. There's not many contests around anymore. So, but I get the Worlds are here this year too. So that kind of slowed things down for local stuff, I think. Because I know FCM's not doing their contest. Dayton's doing theirs.
Nope. You can come here. We're having a meet here.
When's that?
September.
That before or after Cleveland then?
I'm not sure. I think it might be the same time as Cleveland.
Oh, so you're not going to make the trip to Cleveland then?
Maybe, maybe not. Depends. I mean, that is a long ways for me to go.
Yeah, it is. I know. It's 7 hours to St. Louis for me.
Where are you at?
Just south of Columbus, about a half hour.
Yeah, it's 5 hours to Indy for me from here.
Yeah.
And another 2 to Dayton. So, well, it's about 6 hours total, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a drive.
If you can stay awake.
Well, I went around St. Louis last summer, but I didn't go through it.
There's nothing here.
Hey, you guys got the arch.
Yeah. Homeless arch.
Yeah, that seems to be the case everywhere anymore. So whatever happened to your profile Viper? Did you put that on the shelf or what?
I hung it back on the shelf. I need to put the stripes on it. I just, first off, I can't get enthused about it, and about the time that I'm getting ready to go to Brodak, I'll finish it up, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I'm going to finish it for Brodak for sure.
Okay.
It weighs as much as my Viper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I used
Your
all.
blue, your blue one's what, 52 ounces? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, that's light.
They're both 52 ounces. They're within 2 grams apiece.
Okay.
It's one is 2 grams heavier than the other.
Okay.
That's the same. Like I told Bob Hunt today, I wasted 30 years not flying the Viper.
Yeah.
That's the same airplane that I flew 30 years ago at Fort Benjamin Harris.
Yeah, I got pictures of it. And I remember you had the one that kind of had the jet look to it that was a tail dragger that had the 34 in it, I thought. The Super Tiger helicopter engine.
Right, had a Sorcerer in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to build another one of them. I got another motor and pipe and all that shit. That was a good flying airplane too.
Yeah.
I let the John Lowry, and Fox was going to kit it, and I guess John and Fox had a falling out and never happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the only reason why I went back to the Viper is Win Paul's book.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's listed in Win Paul's book.
Yeah.
So that makes it Nostalgia 30 legal.
There you go.
And I was 30 years ahead of my time then, because this is every bit as good an airplane as Pampa airplane today.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm just gonna take both of these and a profile, and I'll be able to fly 4 events.
There you go. Yeah, it's hard to drive a good distance anymore and only get 2 flights in a day.
1 event. Go to Brodax. I was flying 1 event.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a long haul for me.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Although that's only about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours for me, 3.5, maybe 3.5. I don't know. Not much more than that.
Well, let's see how long it's supposed to take. St. Louis to Carmichael's, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Directions from St. Louis to Carmichael's, Pennsylvania.
Getting directions to Carmichael's from St. Louis.
All right. It'll tell me how long it's supposed to take. Okay, 9 hours.
No.
Fastest route is 8 hours, 59 minutes.
Yeah, that's a bit of a drive, for sure.
But not quite as far as it was to Huntersville, which I made in one time. That was 11 hours.
Yeah.
And if I had to go to Joe Nall again from here, that'd be 15 hours.
Well, John was talking to me about that Joe and all thing.
Yeah.
So,
You got a motorhome?
no.
You ain't going to Joe and all then.
I know. It's kind of up the upper echelon, isn't it?
Well, there's no place to camp.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a place to camp. There's no place to stay. You got to bring your own. Everything's, the nearest motel is 2 hours away or an hour away or something.
Okay.
So now Bob Zambelli, he drives his car there and he pitches a tent on the circle.
No,
That's all well good. When Jerry was alive, we took his motorhome down there.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's no, I know that's a high dollar deal there. Those guys,
they got big money.
RC clubs and the RC events will go down there and fly that thing and that event. And I always see, I see the pictures of the guys flying the control line. Of course, John said it's like a golf course.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. But that gets hard to drive. I don't know, for fly some airplanes. So
I would like to go again, but I don't have a motorhome, and unless we go in with everybody rent one.
Right. You and John get the hotel over at the Nats, don't you, every year?
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't camping. My idea of camping is a warm bed and a TV. Air conditioning.
The days of camping are over for you, huh?
Yeah. I go to Brodak and I stay out before John gets there for about 4 days. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of, I got a little trailer. I got a 8-foot long little box trailer. I put my airplanes in, and then you try to sleep in that, but you can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix my car. I'm going to take the back seat out of my Saturn and build a platform so I can stay in the Saturn and put the airplanes in the back in the trailer.
There you go.
Toting that trailer costs a lot in gas.
Yeah, a lot of guys will, make the trailers their bedroom for the weekend too. So
I did that, but you got to understand, Brodak is awful wet, and it usually rains every night.
Yeah, I was over there for the first. Oh gosh, I think we were there for the first one, and we had gone years after that. My kids were just small at the time, but we used to drag them over there every weekend. It was at one point in time just a weekend thing, and then they really stretched it out. So when it first started, but yeah, that a week there, I don't know. I've not done that, so looks like a good time, but I've just not done that.
Well, I've gone every year since, I don't know. I've about 10 of them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've done 10, but there was years there where we were going just about every year when it first started. So that was even before the hobby shop. He even had I don't think he had or the museum. Maybe it's the museum. So I don't think I've not been back over there to even see the museum. So
they got a Jack Sheik's room there.
Oh, do they really?
Yep, it's a reading room with all the magazines and plans. Well, Jack Sheik's was flying models for years.
No, he was. Yeah, hey, I'm telling you. I don't know. I'll show you something here, but these are you probably can't see it, but these are binders that I've made copies of all of every
there you go.
Every article I could possibly find on stunt. So I've got 3 binders like that. So
yeah, there's about 300 binders at the Jack Sheets Library.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. So, I don't know.
You must have low bandwidth. You freeze up about every.
Oh,
every
do I?
time.
I'm
Yeah.
probably I'm missing. I keep fidgeting it around too. So who knows? Plus, I'm down in the basement, so
Yeah.
that probably don't help nothing.
Yeah. Airwaves don't go down; they go up.
Yeah. So
Well,
you guys are flying.
Shoot the shit. I think everybody gets the idea what I'm doing with these tank molds. I got them cleaned up. I'll get them polished up real good. And I think tomorrow we'll get out some. I'll go down to Harbor Freight and buy that welding blanket and mold up one.
Mold up a few tanks. Are you using the copper tubing as well?
I'm going to use a bung. These are going to be like an RC tank with a plastic bung in the end of it.
Oh,
Clunk tank.
okay. Joe was making those for a while, and then he said he couldn't find any fuel tubing that was flexible enough anymore. Have you had that problem?
No, my tanks that I make up, I got one right here. I just use the pink stuff in there.
Okay.
And,
is that a Uniflow? Is that the Uniflow deal?
Yes. I did a video on how to make the tank that I use.
Is it like this, Sparky?
Let me see. Let me make you big.
See if I can get it close enough there for you.
Okay, let's look. No. Hold it down a little bit. Go down.
Well, I don't know if that. Here's the. It's not a great.
Not like that either.
Okay.
I'll show you. I'll take the bung out and I'll show you. It'll be pretty self-explanatory.
Because this one is the Uniflow. They said you can adjust that up and down. I've never tried it before, to be honest with you, Sparky. So, but
okay.
I made it up the other night and kind of see what I've got there. But
yeah, let me show you how I do it. I'm full screen now.
Yeah.
This is the bung out of mine.
Okay.
You see how it's attached to the clunk?
Yeah. Yep.
And then this goes to the top of the tank, and that goes towards the bottom. And that's how I've done it for almost 40 years. It's worked perfect every time.
And that's on the 60? Or everything you've done?
Every tank I make is like that.
Okay. Now, the one that with a 90-degree bend, that you say that goes to the bottom of the tank?
No, look at see that? That's the top of the tank.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Goes around in there.
Sure.
And then the Uniflow is soldered to the pickup line.
Yeah.
And then them just bounce around in there.
Okay. All right.
And that works perfect every time.
See, I think I tried one of those and I couldn't get mine to run right, but I don't know. Listen, it's all kind of new again. So I'll be trying some things that typically I guess I wouldn't have maybe had success last time with. I don't know. So.
What are you running for power?
Well, on that Coyote I got over here, it's just an OS35 is all I'm going to have on that.
Yeah.
And then on the Gypsy that I have, it's an LA46. And that runs good. Although I started with the RC clunk tank and that, it was a little, I don't know, wasn't as consistent. And then Joe had an extra tank laying around and let me try one of his metal tanks, and that kind of really made things a little bit different. So, but I'm going to get that back out this year and mess around with that and see if I can't get that ready for, I don't know. Classic is a one-day event over there at the Nat, so I don't know. We'll see what spring holds and see what I can get a chance to get out and fly a little bit more. But that thing, that Gypsy always flew better on solid lines, and then I got some Tom Morris lines, and I don't know, it never seemed to handle quite as well without the solids. So I don't know. That's again, I want to try these Spectra lines that people were talking about.
Yeah. But John Suglak says the setup in the diagram that you have allows for uniflow adjustments without moving the tank.
Yeah, that's what yes, that's what it says here. So with that, I guess the uniflow there, I guess you can move that up and down in the tank. So that's what I'm going to try for and see. I don't know if you can see it. It's set up just like what the drawing was. So
well, let me know how it works, because I've always done it this way.
Well, yeah, I have. Any way you can get it to work is all that matters. So I'll give yours a shot. So if this doesn't work out, I'll give it a shot.
Give yours a shot.
Oh, I'm going to. Yeah, that's how I'm going to start off.
He froze up
with this. So if that doesn't work, it's not consistent enough, I'll try yours.
I've got my tank. I got my tank on this slider here. It this piece right here, this bungee cords to this, like so.
Yeah.
And this has slots in it, and you slide it up and down a fuselage.
Okay.
But I've used them in full fuselage airplanes too. The only thing is you got to cut about 1/8 of an inch off the inside of the motor mounts behind the engine, so you can drop the tank down low enough. When I set them up, I measure, put the engine on the beams, and I measure from the beam to the center line of the spray bar.
Yeah.
And your outlet and uniflow where it comes out of the bung should be in that same spot. And my tanks, everything that I do, because I've been doing it over and over and over again for so many years, right out of the box runs absolutely flawless. You don't have to. I hate going out to the field and having to flip and ding with stuff and all that.
I do too. That's why I used to run the Super Tiger 60 all the time, because I never had to worry about it. It starts up. The only thing I ever knew, if it did not run right on my particular airplane, it was the glow plug was going bad. But if I stuck and for whatever reason, that engine wanted a K&B 4011, I think it was. If I put a new one in, it went right back to where it was. So
I'm getting ready to mix my own fuel, because you can't get Sig Champion anymore.
Right.
And the fuel guy he's down in Tennessee, Memphis. So I'm just going to go get I got to get 3 gallons, but 2.5 gallons of methanol to 12.8 ounces of Technoplate and 12.8 ounces of castor oil and 12.8 ounces of nitro, and we'll have 10-10-10. So
okay,
I'll mix some of that up.
Well, let me know how that works, because you're right. It's hard to get. I think I don't know if it was Joe or Mark had gone over to the Nats last year and got Rich's brew for us. So I got like 3 or 4 gallons of that. So
I don't like Rich's brew because it's got 22% oil, too much oil.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got. So
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but
yeah, right. I wouldn't be opposed to mixing the fuel if there was enough guys flying anymore around here, but there's only about a handful of guys that even fly around anymore. So
it still works out to $28 a gallon after you're done.
Yeah.
I'll get all those components after buying all that stuff, and mixing 2.5 gallons would be $28 a gallon. So it's 66, about $70 for 2.5 gallons. So it's all about the same.
Yeah.
They're not making a killing on fuel, I can tell you that.
Have you tried to buy a glow plug lately?
I've seen them as much as $15.
Yeah, I saw the other day, $18.99 for one. So it's crazy.
For a
But
$5.
again, it's just hard to find anything like that anymore.
Used to be able to buy glow plugs. I used to buy them by the card. They were $0.25 a piece.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Gonna
well,
have to
that's
go back
for you.
start buying batteries. Get your electric one ready to go.
Nope, not a chance.
Not a fan of the electric.
No. Well, I'm going to end this off because it's my dinner time.
Yep, good enough, Sparky. Good talking with you.
I appreciate you coming on. Good to see you again after 30 years.
Yeah, good to see you. Well, hopefully we'll see you this summer.
All right. Yeah, I'll be around.
All right. You take care.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Well, that was Keith Bryant, and we really appreciate him coming in. I hope you like the guest spots that I did. I'm going to go ahead and work on these molds off camera and try to get them ready, and I'll go over to Harbor Freight tomorrow and see if I can get some fiberglass, and we'll lay up the first one anyway. Hope I can mix the resin right. Danny knows how to mix that resin, not me. I'll have to go to Sherman-Williams and get some paint mixing cups. All righty. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, leave a comment down below. You know, I didn't know this, but all these chat messages you get, yeah, it helps. You know, the chat rate is maybe 1 or 2, but if you leave a comment after the video, a thumbs up and a comment after the video, it helps the metrics. It pumps this message out to the other people who are involved in RC, drones, whatever. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to build that base up because these airplanes are identical to an RC airplane. It's just that we use a bell crank instead of a servo. No big deal. All righty. We'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.